such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here. We have an original because I just talked to a friend of mine who's a CPA, 10 years older than me, and she said something and I looked at her. I'm like, are you fucking joking me? You're a goddamn CPA and you don't know this? So it's apparent that it's desperately needed. We have a very serious talk about the difference between investing your money and pissing it away. All right, we're going to define what an investment is here because that is absolutely necessary and vital for anyone who wants to become richer. Okay, you got to make your money work for you. So I'm going to explain what an investment is. I'm going to explain the three other things that aren't investments, but how we not necessarily piss away our money, but we're going to go through the four main ways that you could spend your money, one of which is investment. The other three are not. And this got those guys in that Quentin Tarantino movie in trouble. Reference. All right, what's an investment? An investment is where you put a certain amount of money in and you buy an asset, a stock, a house, a rental property, a company, some machinery. You buy it, and these things, be it property, machinery, or whatever, generates a profit. It produces a thing or a service, and it generates a profit. Okay? Over the course of the life of this company or this investment, what you generate, what those assets generate in terms of profit should exceed, hopefully double, triple, quadruple, or 1,000 times the amount of money that you actually invested into it. For example, asshole consulting. This laptop that I bought used with my internet access that I pay and me cursing at the internet has yield, and the $500 that I spent on let's just say it's $1,000. $1,000, it generates 10 times that amount a year, easily. Each year, I don't have to buy new assets. All I do have to upgrade. But you can see that's an investment, right? The profits generated were more than what I expended into asshole consulting. Okay? When you buy a stock, you pay $100 a share. Why do you buy it? People will say, because it will go up in value. That's different. That's not an investment. You buy a stock because, General Motors produces cars. It sells those cars and there's a profit, and you're entitled to part of that profit depending on the percent ownership of the outstanding shares you have. So you get a dividends, which is just another word for profit. So you get dividends. There's profit there. That's why you would invest. Okay, so you spend $100 on a share of GM stock, and you get $5 a year in dividends. That's basically a 5% rate of return. So over 20 years, you get your money back. And it goes on forever. Maybe dividends are increased more. Okay? So that is what an investment is. You're not buying it because it goes up in value. That has nothing to do with it. An investment has a machinery, an operation, a process that is generating new profits all the time. Okay? What Americans, especially so, confuse investing with is speculation. Most Americans, including my CPA friend, who should be ashamed of herself right now, thought, I like houses in this certain area. I won't mention where. She wants to buy a house. Now, why does she want to buy that house? Because, that property, it's going to go up in value more. And that's where the needle went off the record. I went, what? I said, so why should the house go up in more value? Well, because people are moving into that neighborhood. I said, do you know that for a fact? Did you do a real estate analysis? On top of it, what is a house? Are you going to rent out the house? No, this is a vacation home. They're going to just live in it a couple months a year. So it just stable. Does that generate profit? They were going to spend $350,000 on a house that won't generate anything in return. And what they're completely contingent upon in getting that $350,000, that's more than $250,000, in getting that, what they're completely dependent upon getting that $350,000 out of that house was that someone down the road would go and buy it for more. The question you have to ask yourself is why? Why would someone pay more for an asset or a piece of property or a thing than what they did before? What is special about it? Right? And the only real answer, don't address speculation again, but the only real answer is why you would pay more for an asset or a piece of property or some kind of thing than someone did before, you yourself did before, is because it is generating more profit, therefore it is more valuable. If the house remains empty, I know I'm being technical on this, it has not increased or decreased in its income generating or profit generating potential. It is still the same fucking house. Now, there is some other things in terms of speculation where it's like, okay, it's not just profit, but what are other people willing to pay for it? And that is where speculation comes in. This is not investing. You can make money on it. That's how most people make money on the stock market and commodities and currency trading. But think about a currency, like here, hang on, I'll show you. Pull up. All right, so I got this $20 bill. If I buy a $20 bill with foreign currency, some foreigner wants to buy the $20 bill. Does my $20 bill shit out little $1 bills? No. Why would you buy it? It's just a 20. Well, because we think between international economics changes in the global economy, that $20 will be worth more in some other currency's denomination. Why do you buy this house? Because we think that down the year there's going to be more people wanting to move out from the city into this little precious little neighborhood, and property prices are going to go up. And we all know property prices always go up, right? Oh, wait, no, there was that housing bubble crisis. And that's the problem with speculation. Since there is no underlying profits warranting or legitimizing the price that you have to pay for it, that's where speculation has a downside. And you see this happen in stock market crashes, you see it happen in the housing bubble, you see it happen in currency crashes. Probably the best way for you to understand speculation versus investing, look at the Holland tulip bulb bubble. This is a thing, this actually happens to show you how stupid humans are. Tulip bulb bubbles, for whatever reason, started becoming a thing in like the 1500s Holland. And people are like, oh, we like those tulip bulb bubbles. And so some people bought some, and then down the road, they sold them for more. And they said, well, we made some money. Let's do it again. So they went back in the market and bought some more, and then they sold them for a higher profit. So then everybody else caught on to this. Does this sound anything like dot-com mania? Does this sound familiar? Do you guys remember that? So the whole nation got caught up in this tulip bulb mania thing. And the price went from a normal tulip bulb in today's dollars, which is what, I don't know, $1, $2, to the price of a house. People were trading one tulip bulb for the price of a fucking house. Okay? This is the same thing with the dot-coms, where, did any of those dot-coms make money? No! We just buy it because I can sell it for more. Just like my house in 2004, I bought it for $500,000, and in 2006 I'll be able to sell it. Oh no, I won't be able to do that. That's speculation. This is why if you want to inoculate yourself over the long term against crashes and losses of value in your portfolio, you have to look at the underlying profit-generating potential of these assets. Housing, you say, well, can't you rent a house? Right, that's an example. A house you can rent out. You can Airbnb it, you can rent it out. It does have the potential to generate income, but what caught a lot of people off guard is you usually live in your house. You don't rent it out as an income. It's not really an asset. It's a consumable. All right? So that's the third part. So we understand investments have underlying assets in a process or a machine operating there somewhere, generating new profits. Speculation is an asset that just sits there and collects fucking dust and doesn't generate any profits, but that you hope down the road somebody buys it for more than what you paid. And that can happen between supply and demand, but there is no profit. And there is no process, there's no business generating profit. Then there's the third one, consumables. And these are life necessity consumables. These are obviously not investment nor speculation, but when you pay rent, well, you got to pay rent to survive. Food is a consumable. These are not, I'm not so agitated about consumables or life necessities because you need them because they're necessary for life. You need food, clothing, shelter, you need gas, cell phone, all right? So there should be no shame in these type of things, but you know going in, when you buy a Subway sandwich, it's not going to generate and shit out little Subway sandwiches that might grow to be big Subway sandwiches, all right? It is a consumable, it's there to sustain and maintain your life, and that's really all consumables are. And so they're obviously, yes, you have to spend money on consumables, and that's the third way you can spend your money. The fourth way, that is pissing away your money, all right? And here's where everybody gets into trouble, all right? Rule number 1, don't spend more than you make. Rule number 2, don't spend more than you make. That's all there is to finance a personal finance. All you have to do. Fuck books, fuck it. Don't spend more than you make. That's simple. And it starts when you start pissing away your money. Now, how do I piss away my money? Well, you believe bullshit told to you by your elders. And I know I'm older than some of you, but I am an asshole, not a smiling, cocksucking, charlatan business snake oil salesman. I'm not your baby boomer professor. I'm not a fucking politician. I'm not well, I am an asshole. And that's why, because I tell you the truth. But if you look at where the majority of the marketing goes to get you to part with your money, it's not for investments. It's for you to piss away your money. On what? Crap. Utter crap. Crap that does not sustain your life. Crap that doesn't even have a chance of being sold for more down the road. And then crap that certainly does not have an income generating machine underneath it. Does not generate profit. So what are we looking at? Well, let's take a look at what the Democrats and the leftists. What I tell you about politicians, what I tell you about your teachers and your fucking guidance counselors, these worthless fucking lying sacks of shit. What do they always tell you is the number one investment? We're investing in education. You can't put a price on education. That's interesting because those colleges, those cocksucking motherfucking colleges, professors, deans, they sure do put a price on the tag of an education. It's $300 a credit and $400 a textbook. The question is, what do you get out of it? All right? If you're a dipshit and you're a moron, and above all else, you're lazy and don't want to do math, you go major in the liberal arts. You major in English, ethnic studies, whiny, complaining studies, women's studies, philosophy, puppetry. It's an actual fucking degree. I can't believe it. Museum studies. I had a client whose girlfriend was majoring in that bullshit. Right? Look at how much money you're throwing over, and what do you get in exchange? Nothing. It's worse than just pissing away your money. You go into debt for it, and then you have financial troubles, and your lives are ruined at least for a decade and a half. At least when you go and buy, let's say an egregious scotch, $300 a shot. At least you got to try it. At least there was some value in it. Okay? When you piss away $100,000 on a worthless degree, you never get that back, and you got to pay it back. You just enslaved yourself. All right? Whereas an investment, you go to school for engineering, becoming a doctor, going to trade school to become a welder or a mechanic. That increases the wage that you could command, and it generates a profit. That's an investment. Okay? Another way you can piss it away, what else? Men. Oh, God, men. We'll do the two major ways that men and women piss away their money. Men, you piss away your money on cars. That is the biggest pissing away of money I've ever seen. I know all the cars have sold you. You watch the television and the internet, and they say, you got to go and get yourself a car. Otherwise, girls won't suck your dick. I got to go out and get a car. How much? $40,000? All right, here. I'll cut some blood. Have some of that. Don't piss away your money on cars. Cars are not an investment. Cars aren't even speculation. You drive it off the fucking lot, it goes down 30% in value. And here's the thing. If you're going to play that car game, I've done this before. Read my book, Bachelor Pad Economics. It's interesting. The girls are going to go after you for your car. They're not going to go after you. They want the $100,000 car. They know the difference between a Bentley, and they know every fucking model and what it looks like the year of and the year before. Because they don't want last year's model. They want the newest model. I've been hanging out in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley too much over here in Phoenix. Anyway, cars are a pissing away of money. It's a life necessity. You buy it so you can get to work. Save your money for a real fucking investment. And then, ladies, what don't you piss away your money on? Holy fucking shit. Beanie Babies, crap, clothes that go in and out of fashion every year. Look, I'm all for a tasteful set of dresses and heels. I understand, ladies, you got to dress up. You got to look pretty for the guys. But my God, I have never seen women piss away so much money on just potpourri of. I'd like to nail it down, but it's just crap. That's all it is. It's just crap that you store in your house, and then you have to get a bigger apartment and pay more in rent to store your crap. See, at least men I could point and say, stop pissing away your money on that stupid car. You girls, I can't do that. It's all over the place. So, hopefully we learn something. If you want to solve the United States problem, and Western Europe, but fuck you guys, I don't care about you. If you want to solve your personal financial problems and the country's financial problems, everybody has to stop pissing away their money. We at least have to stop doing that. If you want financial crises to stop fucking investing in stop pissing away your money on speculations. And the only two things we should be looking at is things that sustain our life, necessities, and things that are actual investments that provide a rate of return and more money than what we put into it. If you just ask yourself those two simple questions, make sure you invest in those two categories and not the other two. Dude, I can't guarantee you anything. But I swear to God, you will have a better financial future than the one you had pissing away your money on a $40,000 sort of sports car. And you girls buying Lord knows what you do at. I don't even know why there's shopping malls. Honest to God, I don't know. You know the shit there. Ladies, look at a shopping mall. That's the shit you don't buy. If you have further questions, you can go to my consultancy, assholeconsulting.com. I will answer you bluntly, truthfully, and honestly, as you may have noticed. If you want to go and get some of the wisdom I have, you don't want to pay an arm and a leg because I charge $100 an hour for this bullshit, go buy my books. Bachelor Pad Economics, Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major, Reconnaissance Man, that is a must for every young person out there, male or female. What other genius I got? Those are the three main ones. Those are the three main ones I would say. Yes, for financial, that would be it. And then listen to my podcast, the Clarey Podcast. You can just search Clarey. That's all we got. Toodles.